ということがありました。
Hello everyone and welcome back to more of the Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, we learned what Michiru did to relieve her stress, which was to get a giant stuffed animal and write Yuji's name on it and pound it into the dust. The hell is wrong with that bottle blonde?
よければお揃いのぬいぐるみをお譲りしましょうか?
No, that won't be necessary.
そうですか。
Although it's a little sad to say this myself, dropping a fancy stuffed animal in the middle of a dreary room of mine would be painfully awkward. And the idea of having a matching set of anything with Michiru is so even less appealing. Anyway, something came to my mind while I was listening to all this. If you really don't relax, what do you do with your free time?
私は基本的に空いた時間というものを作らないようにしています。
In other words, you're like a shark, always moving even when at rest?
いえ、休息するときは普通にベッドで休みますし。
Well, probably so. We didn't mean to skip that part. My apologies, guys. There's the lock button. Whatever.
風見さんさえよろしければ今日にでもお見せできますけど。
So, what, you're telling me to follow you around from morning to night?
それか授業が終わってから就寝するまでの時間でしょうか。
From what I understand, Sachi's proposal isn't problematic in the terms of the school rules, but I'm a little hesitant to peep into her private life out of the mere curiosity. Who knows what I'm gonna find?
私は気にしませんよ。
Reading my mind, huh? Alright. How about after class ends tomorrow?
はい、それでは私も明日は体をきれいにしてお待ちしていますね。
What are you preparing for, exactly? After school tomorrow, huh? Things have taken a somewhat strange turn, but I can't deny I've gotten slightly curious about Sachi's way of life. Should be an interesting experience, if nothing else. What the hell is that? A distinctive droning sound, strikingly out of place in this quiet coastal town. Guess I've got a visitor. As expected, when I head out of the school gate, a genuine blonde emerges from the interior of her prancing horse.
Hi, Yuji. 調子はどう?
What's with the outfit? Not bad as of 3 minutes ago. Unfortunately, my mood just now took a nosedive.
何よ、海外しく会いに来た女に対して最初に言うセリフがそれ?
If I was really dealing with a woman, maybe I'd be a little more careful with my words. But I was taught to be frank and to the point with my superiors.
相変わらず冗談が通じないわね。
It's your fault for putting on the ridiculous marble-mouthed airhead act in the first place.
まあ、あなたがこういう女が苦手だってことは知ってるけどね。
Which makes the way you always pretend to be one downright sadistic. So, what's with the sudden visit? Some urgent business come up?
いいえ、今日は風見雄二の保護者としてちょっと経過観察にね。
What, work not keeping you busy these days?
言ってみればこれも仕事のうちよ。
Fine, we'll leave it at that.
それで何か困っていることはない？設備やお金、それからクラスメートの女の子には相談できないようなこととか。
The hell? What if I tell you I can't control my libido anymore? You gonna take care of that for me?
そういう気持ちが起こらなくなるくらい仕事を振らせてもらうわ。
Sorry, my bad.
そうそう。お姉さんの質問には最初から真面目に答えておくものよ。
I only have one sister. It's not you. I'll see what I can do.
それで本当のところはどう?
Seriously, I've got exactly no problems worth mentioning. This place is almost comically well equipped and my allowance is more than enough for my everyday needs.
そう、それならよかったわ。
You satisfied now?
あなたの方から連絡がない限り心配ないとは思っているけどね。
Yeah, that's right.
じゃあそれとは別に何か気になっていることはない？
What's anything else supposed to mean, exactly?
例えば近所の犬が行方不明になったとか、クラスメートの中に気になる子がいるとかね。
Oh, I'm sorry. Since when were you my therapist? Why do you care?
難しく考えなくてもいいわよ。本当にただ気になっているってだけでいいから。
After all these years, JB probably knows me better than anyone else alive. I don't think she'd ask me this question for no reason whatsoever. Alright then. Let me ask you your opinion on something, alright? For what it's worth.
言ってみて。
What would you think about someone who's never refused anyone's orders, even once? Or turned down a request, for that matter?
それはそういうプレイのお話？
No, we're not. I'm asking for your thoughts as my superior on this one.
そうね。
JB slowly brings her hand to her chin, and the next instant her eyes grow sharp and serious. It's a familiar sight. I guess you could call it her business face. When JB switches into work mode, she has a habit of putting that expression on like a suit of armor.
もしそういう人間がいたら、真っ先に訓練の線を疑うわね。
I thought as much. There's more though. The person in question doesn't seem to experience any stress in their daily life, which is odd, or at least maybe they are experiencing it, but they're not telling anybody.
それが本当だとしたら、全くもって羨ましい話ね。
That's what I thought.
ただ、ストレスは本人の自覚がないところでも蓄積されていくから、本人が気づいていないだけという場合も十分あり得るわ。人が頭をかく仕草一つとってもストレスの一部なんだもの。
Exactly, so what happens when that builds up without the person in question even noticing it? I guess you could say I'm slightly concerned, if nothing else.
そう。
With that non-committal response as a line of demarcation, JB relaxes her face and lets the tension drain out of her body.
保護者の義務としてこの学園のことは簡単に調べさせてもらったけど、やっぱり有事の興味を引くような学生さんがいるみたいね。
It's like a mountain, peaked like a mountain. Yeah. When I get a nagging sense of concern like this, it's almost never just me overthinking things. I've got some good instincts, if nothing else. That was the reason I confirmed my impressions with Chizuru as well. If I'm not wrong about this, then...
でも少し安心したわ。
What is?
有事からそういう質問が出てきたことに対してよ。
I just try to give you what you want to hear, alright?
だとしてもこれまでのあなただったらそんなものはないって即答していたはずよ。
If that was supposed to be an imitation of me, I'd recommend giving up your dream of becoming a comedian after retirement.
ご忠告ありがとう。でも有事くらいの年頃の男の子だったらおしゃれや女の子に興味があって当然よ。それなのにあなたが私に聞いてくるのはいつも火薬臭いことばかりなんだもの。
I can't deny it.
でしょ。だからきっと。じゃあ定期面談はこれで終わり。しばらくしたらまた顔を出すわ。
Do me a favor and give a little advance warning next time. It's bad for my heart to have beautiful women popping up out of nowhere.
ドキドキ感があった方が嬉しいでしょ。
Oh, you don't even know. Ugh. Smirking, JB slides her sunglasses back into place. With smooth, practiced movements of her hand, she steers the prancing horse away from the school. In the blink of an eye, it's disappeared into the distance. That engine never gets any less obnoxious. Out of consideration for our neighbors, maybe I should stuff some potatoes into the muffler next time I have the chance. In any case, JB does have a point. If I was still the same person who impassively devoted himself to the job, I wouldn't have developed this kind of an interest in Sachi's personal life. Quite the opposite. Keeping potential trouble at arm's length. Of course, in this case, my doormate's problems might have repercussions for me. But there's definitely part of this that can't be explained by simple self-interest. Apparently, this change in my thinking is dramatic enough to take even JB by surprise. In that sense, I guess the first problem is that I can't even tell why I'm changing. Mashing students of different school years into a single classroom and giving them identical course of instruction is typically referred to as the combined class system. It's most frequently used in rural and elementary schools where low population and limited resources sometimes make it an unavoidable cost-saving measure.
じゃあこの問題は榊さん、あなたが解いてみて。はい。
I guess Mihama might be called an unusual variation on that system. Amani's a year ahead of me, Sachi and Makina a year below, but we're all currently being taught how to solve quadratic functions by factorization. Something that no one in any grade would ever want us to try. Of course, even in rural areas, they don't tend to squash 3 years into one. You'd usually have to go to South Korea to see anything like this.
それじゃあ小峰さん、ちょっと難しいけど次の問題を解いてみて。
x かっこ 3x-1 だと思います。
正解。さすが小峰さん、しっかり勉強しているわね。
ありがとうございます。
小峰さんなら国立大学の入試問題でも普通に答えてしまいそうね。
Or she's cheating. Taking in Sachi's effortless response out of the corner of her eye, Sakaki mumbles words of admiration.
私また気づいちゃったかも。なに？ツンデレ練習機の電源でも入れっぱなしだった？違うわよ。もし本当にそんな機械あったら買ってるけど。買うのかよ。
Okay, so what did you realize?
もしかしたらサチって先生に当てられて答えられなかったこともないんじゃない？そう言われればそうなのよさ。
As of 2 days ago, I probably would have reacted with skepticism at this point, but after what I've learned about Sachi, this seems all too plausible.
ってことはまさかテストの点も全部満点だったり？
いえ、前回のテストもそうなのですが、100点以外の点も取っています。
She received 105.
それ見たことか。ここにサチの腐敗神話破れたり。なんであなたが得意げなのよ。ごめん、なんとなく。確かに全部というわけじゃないけれど、小峰さんの場合はケアレスミスがほとんどで常に満点に近い数字よ。すごい。調子に乗ってすみませんでした。
なんで謝られているんでしょう、私。
Sachi, something's wrong with you. We're trying to figure out what it is. We're worried.
察してあげるのよ。相手の遺伝子が自分より優れていると悟った時の本能的行動なのよさ。
そうなんだ。
でも私的にはちょっと残念かも。
What, that Sachi's grades aren't always perfect?
そう、ここまで来たらどこまでもっていうか、こうサチにはずっと汚れのないままでいてほしかったのよね。たとえおかしいし。
なんだかよくわからないですけど、ごめんなさい。
別に謝らなくてもいいってば。全部が満点じゃなくても私には到底真似できないことなんだから。
From a common sense perspective, it seems completely obvious. No matter how much of a genius you are or how much time you've spent practicing, it is a little difficult for any human being to maintain absolute perfection. That said, in Sachi's case, I have this odd feeling that she's only missing questions because nobody's asked her to get perfect scores constantly. Yet, am I just overestimating her, maybe?
でもユミコも言ってたけど、サチならどんな問題でも答えられちゃいそうな気がするのよね。実際当てられた問題に必ず答えてる記録は継続中なんじゃないかしら。
この学園に来てからということならそうなると思います。
Oh, come on, there gotta be something she can't answer.
だったら余計にどこまで難しい問題なら答えられるかって気にならない？
Well, I can more or less identify with the sentiment. But I was a curious specimen to be sure.
じゃあ実際に試してみればいいんじゃね？そうよね。 でもさ、さっちゃんが答えられないような問題を出すんだったら、少なくともさっちゃんより頭のいい人じゃないとダメじゃない？絶対答えられない問題じゃ意味ないだろうし。
それならお兄ちゃんが適任だな。
ああ、そっか。ユージって仏頂面のくせに頭はいいしね。
You're just mad because I didn't go out with you. For the record, a sourpuss face has absolutely no relevance to academic results.
そうね。ユージの手を借りるのはちょっと尺だけど。あとは任せたわ。
Sorry, what's that supposed to mean exactly?
つまりあんたはサチの解けなさそうな問題を出す係に任命されたのよ。
I guess I don't mind giving her a test, but shouldn't you be asking for her consent before appointing anybody?
それなら
私は大丈夫ですよ。
Why did I even bother? Of course she was gonna say yes. Well, I did pretty much expect an answer along those lines, but still.
というわけでレポートよろしく。私たちも手伝えることがあったら手伝うしね。
もちろんなのよさ。
Alright, I guess. Since the consensus seems to have emerged, I suppose I'll go along with it. No need to struggle against the current.
そろそろ授業を進めさせてもらっても。
Oh, sorry. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be saying this to your face, Sachi, but you're seriously a soft touch. There's such a thing as being too cooperative, you know?
そうでしょうか。
Yes. Assigned a strange new responsibility by the whims of my capricious classmates, I'm holding an impromptu rooftop meeting with Sachi to discuss the specifics. Yes, you just committed yourself to an academic stress test with no real point beyond satisfying our classmates' curiosity, if you hadn't noticed.
確かにそうですね。
Although Sachi obediently accepts my words on a superficial level, she doesn't really seem to recognize the situation as inconvenient. Well, if this doesn't bother you, I won't say you were wrong to accept.
その点は大丈夫です。むしろ私みたいな淫乱メス奴隷に興味を持っていただけるのは嬉しいことだと思います。
Okay. Where did you pick that phrase up exactly?
コンビニエンスストアの雑誌売り場で一番端に並んでいた本の表紙に書いてありました。
Ah, I see. I vaguely suspected as much for a while now, but it seems you're a member in good standing of the masochist community, Sachi.
自分で意識したことはないのですが、風見さんがそう感じられたのならそうなんだと思います。
Okay, Sachi, do you have any thoughts of your own, or do you just go by what everyone tells you?
それにもし私が M だとしたらド S の風見さんと相性はバッチリなはずです。
When did I get promoted to super sadist exactly?
いつでしょう。
When Sachi gets like this, it really does feel like you're talking to an enigmatic maid with a deadpan sense of humor. But now that I think about it, that impression is probably misleading. The girl's defining characteristics are her earnest personality and impressive range of skills. She accepts nearly every request that comes her way. She's an excellent student, and from what I've seen, she's respectably athletic as well. In a way, she's less a maid and more an ideal personification of an honor student. But she takes it to such an extreme that it's hard to keep yourself from thinking she might be too good to be true, you know?
そんな風に上から下まで舐め回すような視線を向けられてしまうと私困ってしまいます。
Sorry, can I smack you after all?
その場合、いや、このけだものと暴れた方が風見さんはお好みでしょうか。
Okay, I think a firm press of the reset button is called for at this point. Okay, let's get back to the topic.
はい、どうぞ。
There's a couple things I wanted to ask before about planning this little experiment. Do you take any specific measures to prepare for teachers asking you to solve a problem in class?
そうですね。授業はテストと違って教科書の問題をそのまま出される場合がほとんどですから、一通り予習をしておけば大体のことは答えられます。
Well, certainly true, but studying until you can solve every single problem in the upcoming material usually requires an impractical amount of time and effort. Although she's clearly devoted as well, Sachi must naturally be something of a quick learner. Alright then. Okay, what would you do in a situation where you absolutely need someone else's cooperation to fulfill a request?
それは榊さんとみちる様の喧嘩を止めろというような場合でしょうか。
Right. With a mission like that, don't you run into a dead end if they just refuse to listen?
そういった場合は許される範囲内で別のやり方を考えますが、頼まれた内容や状況によっても変わってくるので、一概にこうというのは難しいかもしれません。
I see. Does she... don't really tend to think of Sachi as a flexible thinker, but it seems she does consider her challenges on a case-by-case basis.
それより風見さん、今日は私の部屋に遊びに来られるということでいいんですよね。
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan, unless there's a problem on your end.
わかりました。ではまた放課後に。
Right. In any case, today I'm going to be directly observing Sachi's private life. That may well provide me with some insight into what makes this distinctly unusual human being tick.
時間ね。それじゃあ今日の授業はこれで終わりになるけど、明日は終業式だからみんな遅刻しないようにね。
We will be on time in the next episode of The Fruit of Grisaia, everybody. Have a good day and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.